Hi, welcome to this video presentation from Calculus Honours for Back to School Night. My name is John Quigley. I've been teaching here at Holy Child since 2006. Before that I taught math and physics in Ireland for more than a decade. I graduated from Trinity College Dublin in 1993 with a degree in math and physics. Went to Belfast in Northern Ireland to study computers and information systems for a year, and then completed my teaching degree back in Dublin in 1996. This course, Calculus Honours, we begin with limits of functions, and that's something that we're doing right now. In fact, we'll be continuing that into early October, maybe the middle of October. And we'll follow that up with differentiation. Differentiation is a huge chunk of this course, takes us right up into the springtime, and we'll finish the year off by looking at integration. My approach to teaching integration and differentiation is very similar. We start off by trying to give examples of differentiation and integration in different contexts so that the students see various different interpretations of both of those concepts. Apologize for the noise in the background here. After that, we'll be looking at the mechanics of differentiation, how you actually carry out the methods and the techniques that are required. And then we'll be looking at various applications of differentiation and integration. And I guess for maybe the first time in their math study, students will be seeing actual real-life applications of math at a high level. Sometimes some of the real-life applications that we meet earlier than that are a little bit contrived. But when students are studying calculus, they'll see how it is actually put to work on a daily basis by people in different industries, people in different areas of academia as well. In terms of classroom expectations, while we're working remotely or on hybrid and we're on a class call, then I expect students to stay on the call for the duration of the class. But the students are encouraged to interrupt and to ask questions. Communication when we're not working face-to-face is absolutely vital. As a teacher, I can't pick up on facial expressions and on other forms of feedback from the students, so I need them to actually explicitly tell me where something is difficult, where something is causing them problems, where they're unsure about something. So again, I would ask you to encourage your students to speak up, and as questions arise, just to ask them. I may not be able to answer them immediately, but certainly it's something that I want to be aware of. Once students are in school, all I ask is that they come with a willingness to learn and be prepared. So if it's a calculus class, you need your calculator. All of my classes depend heavily on OneNote. That's where I put all my notes. So you have to have your device with you every day. And the third thing I would ask, it's tied into what just mentioned a few moments ago. When problems arise, you reach out as a parent, as a student, and please feel free to instigate a meeting, ask for a meeting, and we'll sit down and we'll sort out any problems we can. And I'd like to be as proactive and to preempt any situations that might arise if we can at all. So it's a stressful year. The students in this class, mainly seniors, so what you want to do is you want to relieve as much stress as possible, so you don't want anyone to get into a situation that's difficult for them in terms of grades or in terms of understanding. So the quicker we can respond to that, the better. In terms of instruction and assessment, I already mentioned that I put all my notes on OneNote in advance of class, so students can print out those notes if they prefer to work off paper, and therefore they can watch me on the screen and take notes on paper as they go along. I use class time for initial explanation of concepts, for clarification of any misunderstandings, for answering student questions, and then very importantly for working through the examples and for giving students practice time. Giving students time to practice these techniques because it's a new form of math to them. A lot of algebra involved, a lot of reading of graphs involved, so they've been trained well to get to this point. But certainly there are new techniques that are being learned and that have to be mastered this year. You'll have heard this before, but assessment this year has been revised a little bit throughout the school. We're using a new vocabulary to discuss assessment. There's 3 categories: engagement, formative assessment, and summative assessment. Engagement addresses the student's readiness to work. Are you turning in your work on time? Are you coming to class on time? When you're at home, is your camera on while you're on a call? Formative for me is going to be traditional quizzes. Formative assessment is going to take the form of traditional quizzes. Summative assessment is mainly going to be based around tests. Each time we do a major test, I will supply a practice test a week in advance. And a couple of days after the practice test goes out, I will also send out a key so that you'll be able to revise the work you've done. It's important, though, that students try the practice test before they look at the key. Otherwise, they really won't know whether they're the type of difficulty they could run into. So when I send out a practice test, if you can have your daughters try it and then check their answers in the key. This course is very similar to an AP calculus course with just a couple of differences. One is that there is more emphasis in this course on the actual practice, on the concrete skills, and less emphasis on the theory. So we're dealing less in the abstract and more in the concrete. The other big difference between this and the AP course, obviously, is that the students in this course don't have to do the AP exam. They won't have to worry about that added pressure. There may be a final exam yet, but there has been always in the past. I'm not sure what's happening yet this year. That's a school-wide decision, but certainly the fact that you don't have to study for an AP exam takes a little bit of the pressure off. The surest way for students to be successful in this class is when they are trying a problem, they get stuck or they get a wrong answer. Ask me to see the correct answer. Ask me to work through the problem with them, either in class or outside of class time. And then at home, after I've gone through the problem with them, work through their original effort line by line. When they get stuck, go back to look at what I did in my notes. Once you've figured out how to do that single line, because it's usually only one line, one piece of information that's missing, continue on with the question. If you get stuck again, look at how I addressed that. And continue doing that and repeat doing it until you're able to work from start to finish without making any mistakes and to getting the right answer. That's time consuming, it's tedious, but for me and for the students that I've taught, it's the surest way to be successful and the surest way to grow and to make progress as a mathematician. If you need to contact me, I'm available during blocks A, C, G, and H, but especially since we're in a funny place right now, it's best to set up an appointment by email. And once you do that, I'm more than happy to get on a Teams call with either yourself or your daughter. And once we're able to meet in person, then that's even better again. Email address is jquigley@holychild.org. Thank you very much for watching this evening, and if you have any questions, again, please don't hesitate at all to reach out, send me an email, and I'll be more than happy to get back to you. Okay, thank you very much for this evening, and look forward to working with you and your daughters throughout the year. Thank you.